गोविंद देशिकम उपास्य सिराय भक्त्याम तस्मिन् स्थिते निजमाहिम्नि विदेह मुक्त्याम अद्वैत्य भाष्यम उपकल्प दिशो विजीत्याम कांचीपुरे स्थितम अवापसा शंकराय ऋतिस्मृति पुराणानाम आलयम करुणालयम नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरम लोकशंकरम अपार करुणा सिंधुम ज्ञानतम शांतरूपिणम श्रीचंद्रशेखर गुरुम प्रणमामि मुदान्वकम सदाशिव समारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमां अस्मत् आचार्य पर्यन्तां वंदे गुरु परंपराम. Seeking the benediction of Adi Shankara to his lineage up to the 70th Guru of the venerated Kamakoti Peetam Pujya Sri Shankara Vijayendra Saraswati Swamigal, I raise to address you today. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this pleasant and solemn function organized this evening to confer the 24th SIS Sri Chandrasekharendra Saraswati National Eminence Award for the year 2021. Time has indeed flown. It was as if a few years before we had commenced this journey and gave the inaugural award to the former President of India, Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma. Over these years, including this year, 94 men and women of letters of exceptional credit and outstanding achievements have been decorated and blessed with this award. The awards journey of celebrating excellence continues. These awards are given in the name, honor and memory of Pujya Sri Chandrasekharendra Saraswati, the 68th Shankaracharya of the venerated Kamakoti Peetam. On an occasion like this, it is but natural that one goes down the memory lane as to how an ordinary Kannadiga Brahmin boy from the Oizala community, from an obscure village of Vilupuram in Tamil Nadu, graduated to become one of the tallest saints of the country in the 20th century. During a century-long sojourn in this universe, the sage of Kanchi walked the length and breadth of this country, spreading goodwill and compassion. Like the lighthouse that beats no drum and sounds no gong, and yet to the mariner in the distant sea were to experience its friendly light, so too was the sage of Kanchi. He was a spiritual colossal. He was the voice of eternal India. This master of masters was like a lambent light who rekindled the spirit of the nation and brought about a renaissance in many fields of religion, thought and process. He taught mankind groping in the dark, despite all the strides in science and technology, as to how to journey to a higher destiny and attain Atma Swaraj, freedom of the mind. He shed his mortal coil on the 8th of January 1994. It is 27 years since he had moved from the seen to unseen. Over these years, I have been reiterating that he is more relevant today than he was during his living times. We still hear the divinity of his voice and the infinitude of his presence. The sage of Kanchi lives in the hearts and minds of his devotees. In its own unobtrusive way, the Kamakoti Peetam symbolizes the highest spirits of Hinduism, tolerance, non-dietetic. With his pontificate over 87 years of this venerated Peetam, he was naturally at the center stage of the cultural and the spiritual renaissance and rejuvenation of this country in the 20th century. If we are assembled today to remember the sage of Kanchi and to express our reverential gratitude to him for his service to humanity, I believe it is material to him now as it was during his living times. He was far beyond honors, titles and accolades, and we mortals were ever in need of honoring him as a way of symbolizing the reality that he represented for us. No one returned from his effulgent presence without a sense of confidence to face the challenges of life. He was like a cool breeze on a warm sunny day. He did not show any signs of pedantry, nor suffocated his scholarship on others who came into contact with him. To those of us who were fortunate to have seen him or conversed with him, that experience is what Jnaneshwar describes in Jnaneshwari as Amrutanubhava, the sipping of nectar. Ananta Kalyana Guna Sampannaha is how the Lord is described in the scriptures, one who is endowed with all auspicious qualities. So too was the sage of Kanchi, and that is why he was a Nadamadam Devam, that God who walked the earth in the 20th century for multitudes of his devotees. He was an Akshaya Patra of virtues. I have, over these last 23 years from this platform and several other forums elsewhere, brought home the greatness of the Guru, of those unique traits in his personality, the facets of his personality, and those qualities of head and heart that stood him out from the rest of the crowd. I do not propose traversing that path this evening. Suffice if I have to tell you that the spirit of the sage endures and blesses humanity. During the year that has gone by, several of the awardees of yesteryears have terminated their life journey. Padma Vibhushan celluloid hero Dilip Kumar, Padma Vibhushan Dr. Rodam Narasimha, Swami Omkarananda, and Padma Bhushan Dr. Satyavrat Shastri breathed their last. There is gloom at their separation, but the fact that they all lived a full life and realized the purposes of their lives, there is everything to celebrate their lives. Equally so, today we are celebrating the birth anniversary of a former awardee, Bharat Ratna, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the former Prime Minister of our country. This year is also the centenary of the milkman of India, Dr. Varghese Kurian. So, it is against this background of mixture of joy and sorrow that we are holding the function this evening. The three Mahanabhavas who are occupying the stage today, and two others who could not make it for compelling reasons, are men of outstanding achievements, as I said before. Men who had risen above the self, who had contributed significantly to the cause of the nation in their fields of their endeavors. They are not men who anchor for awards, recognitions, and publicities, but the grateful society acknowledges their good deeds and contribution by showering on them their praise, their titles, and honors. In honoring them, we are honoring ourselves. In the category of public leadership, for the first time, we are combining public governance with spiritualism or saintliness. Yogi Adityanath was initiated into higher purposes of life so early in his life. He came under the influence of Mahant Avaidyanath and later succeeded Mahant Avaidyanath as the Mahant of the Gorakhnath Mutt in Gorakhpur. But then his passion and interest lay elsewhere, the larger field of public service, so that he can reach out to the poorest poor, made him plunge into politics. He was elected to the parliament for a record period of 5 terms from Gorakhpur. He was appointed at the very young age of 45 years as the 22nd Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh in 2017. As Gayatri said, the pace at which development is taking place in the state of Uttar Pradesh has never been witnessed before in the state or elsewhere in the country. The gross domestic product at the start of journey of Yogi Adityanath for Uttar Pradesh was 10.9 lakh crores. In 4 years' time, it has doubled to 21.73 lakh crores. Uttar Pradesh has emerged as the second largest economy in the country, displacing several other states which for donkey's years have been holding on to that status as economically prosperous states. The unemployment rate had come down from 17.5% to 4.1% in the year 2021. Uttar Pradesh is ahead of all other states in the Union in 48 centrally administered, managed social welfare schemes. The pace at which infrastructural improvements are taking place in Uttar Pradesh is to be seen, to be believed. Several of them have seen the light of the day. Some of them have been inaugurated recently, while most of them, like the Ganga Express, have been launched recently. The groundswell of support, goodwill, and the fact that most of the welfare measures have percolated to the poorest in Uttar Pradesh is certain to stand Yogi in good stead when he faces the electorate again this year, at the beginning of next year, for a mandate to govern Uttar Pradesh. I am sure, with the blessings of the people and that of his Guru Mahanta Vaidyanath, he will coast to a comfortable majority and fulfill the unfinished agenda and also unleash several welfare programs for the benefit of the marginalized sections of the society in that state. The rate at which surface transport connectivity has been established in Uttar Pradesh is bewildering. It is a realization of the dream of Atal Bihari Vajpayee of Prime Minister's Gramin Sadak Yojana, by which the hinterland, the most farthest of villages, are connected to the main hinterland for economic prosperity. And I'm sure these achievements will be lessons for other states to take as India develops itself in the course of these years, and by 2047, when India celebrates the centenary of its independence, it will emerge as one of the most formidable states in this globe. If political leadership this year was unique as it combined saintliness, so too is community leadership. Dr. Devi Prasad Shetty is indeed a doctor with a difference. He has 3.5 decades of unblemished record in cardiac thoracic surgery. He was the first to have performed neonatal surgery in the year 1994 on children and opened the floodgates for pediatric cardiac surgery in the country. He has more than 15,000 surgeries to his credit. He started the Narayana Hridayalaya in the year 2000, and the chain, as Gayatri said, has expanded throughout the country, including our city of Mumbai. His work is work of God, and the hand is divine that it has provided succor and relief to countless millions of people who are suffering from various heart ailments. He was almost ready to just take the flight in the morning and come, when yesterday night he himself had to be quarantined and had to undergo various treatments. Fortunately, he is corona negative, but has inflammation and has been advised to complete rest. In the field of community leadership institution, we have this year, as Gayatri again said, the largest NGO in midday meal scheme in the world. It is not in this country. Akshay Patra Foundation currently reaches out to 1.5 million children through 57 locations in partnership with 19 states of the Union. The avowed objective of this foundation is to arrest malnutrition in children and, more importantly, motivate them to go to schools through the attraction of hot, packed lunches that are provided during the afternoon, and in the bargain, empower themselves through the process of learning that they acquire therein. It is one of the best schemes that the world has ever been conceived of. And I should tell you, originally, this scheme was conceived by M.G. Ramchandran, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, when he brought formally the midday meal scheme in Tamil Nadu in its own version. But then Akshay Patra gave it an institutional framework and took it far beyond the borders of Bengaluru, where it is headquartered. As she said, it has an avowed target of reaching 5 million children per day by 2025. I am sure, with the blessings of Prabhu Shilapata, the spiritual master of this foundation, and the Lord of the universe, Krishnam Vande Jagadguru, whose grace and benediction will certainly come onto them, they will achieve their target. We have with us today Madhu Pandit Dasa, the founder and the chairman of Akshay Patra Foundation, who has come all the way from Bengaluru to be with us this evening to receive the award on behalf of the foundation. We welcome you, sir, for this evening function. Dr. K. Shivan is not unknown to this city of Mumbai of ours or Bombay when he was around over here. He is a product, he is a graduate of IIT Mumbai. Under his stewardship, ISRO has taken giant strides in space technology. The bunching of 118 satellites in a single PSLV program is indeed a feather in the cap of ISRO. Several launches that have been done during these years at fraction of a cost, I'm repeating my words, at a fraction of the cost at which the world were to make those launches, plus the groundwork that has been done under his leadership in ISRO, and the technology and the collaborations that they have entered into, that has catapulted India to be one of the dominant space powers of the world. Dr. Shivan joins the illustrious list of his predecessors, Dr. K. Kasturirangan, Dr. Madhavan Nair, and Kiran Kumar, who were the former chairman of ISRO, who were also decorated and blessed with this award in the earlier years. Udayalur Kalyan Raman is an exponent of the Prachina and Dakshina Sampradaya bhajan, which he has taken far and wide to the nook and corner of this country and even beyond. The mellifluous rendering of the bhajans captivates and enchants the audience and transports them to a world of ethereal charm. As an ardent devotee of the Mahaswami of Kanchi, he has carried his teachings far and wide. This is the eminence of the people who are being blessed and decorated with the award today. As I come to the end of my address this evening, may the Jagannatha Kamakoti Kamakshi shed her grace on all of them. May they live long to achieve the purposes of their life and reach greater heights of glory in their fields of specialization and endeavor. May the good Lord bless us too, so that we can draw a leaf from the life of nobility of these men and make our lives sublime. Thank you and God bless, and wish you a very happy, prosperous, corona-free 2022. Thank you.